On Monday, we met the very deep group of hitters that are going to make up the Dodgers lineup on a daily basis, and it's a talented group of players that also boasts the versatility that allows them to move players around the diamond on a daily basis. Today, we look at LA's rotation, which is not quite as deep or scary of a group but one with the talent that could easily steal the show in this fall classic. In that way, it's very similar to that of the Red Sox in that you don't necessarily expect all four pitchers to be lights out for the entire series, but you can see a scenario in which it happens. Let's take a deeper look at the four pitchers who are expected to take the mound to start games for the Dodgers. Game 1, Clayton Kershaw. This season was his worst since his rookie year, which makes it sound a lot worse than it was. The reality is that it says a hell of a lot more about how amazing he was before 2018. Despite not really looking like Clayton Kershaw for much of the year, he finished with a 2.73 ERA with a 3.14 FIP and a 3.11 draw. After adjusting for park values, and Kershaw regularly pitches in pitcher-friendly parks, those numbers are still 29, 20 and 31% better than the league average pitcher. That's a down year. One thing we'll hear plenty of about Kershaw leading up to this game and any other start he makes in this series is his history in the postseason. It is true that, on the whole, he has not quite been himself in October, but really we should be done with that by now. He's had a number of strong outings in the playoffs over the last 2 years, and that includes 2 gems from this postseason, as well as 1 terrible outing, to be fair. Overall this October the future Hall of Famer has pitched to a 2.37 ERA with 16 strikeouts and 4 walks over 19 innings while allowing an OPS of just .472. Kershaw is going to feature largely a 3-pitch mix, with his slider being the offering he uses the most often, followed closely by a low to mid-90s fastball as well as a curveball. Game 2, Hyunjin Ryu. The Dodgers are going to start this series with a pair of lefties, which means we are going to get a steady dose of Steve Pearce in the lineup at Fenway Park. That is just fine with me. Following Kershaw in this rotation is going to be Ryu, who is coming off a shortened, but fantastic, season. Ryu has missed plenty of time over his career, but I'm not sure we've ever seen this version of the lefty before. After missing most of May, all of June and July, and half of August, the Dodgers southpaw only ended up throwing 82 1/3 innings on the year. Over that time, however, he was great to the tune of a 1.97 ERA, a 2.96 FIP and a 2.45 draw. Again, adjusting for park values, those numbers were a whopping 49, 25 and 45% better than the league average pitcher. The question as we look at the prospect of facing a pitcher who was so good in the regular season is how much of it was a fluke. I certainly think it's fair to believe that at least some of the performance will not be sustained, simply because I don't believe Hyunjin Ryu is the best pitcher in the game. However, a lot of it looks very real. That being said, he's not unbeatable, and the Brewers did get to him in his second outing of the NLCS. In fact, he's gotten worse with each postseason start. Looking at his game logs, the key seems to be putting the ball in play. Ryu isn't going to walk a lot of batters, so Red Sox hitters need to jump on early pitches and not fall behind in counts. If he's striking guys out, Boston will be in trouble, but if not, he is certainly beatable. Ryu has a wide arsenal, featuring a low 90s fastball along with a cutter, a curveball and a changeup. Game 3, Walker Buehler. The lone right-handed starter in the Dodgers rotation, he is also arguably the most interesting pitcher in this group. Other than the fact that we'll have to suffer through horrible Ferris Bueller's Day Off jokes throughout this game, it is going to be exciting to watch Buehler in a likely matchup with Nathan Eovaldi. That will pit 2 pitchers with a wide range of possibilities on the mound against each other. Buehler is a recent top prospect who came up and pitched a little out of the bullpen last year, but his true career started in 2018. There was a little inconsistency in the regular season, but he was mostly fantastic all year long and ended the season with a 2.62 ERA, 2.99 FIP and 3.21 DRA. Adjusted for park values, he was 32, 24 and 28% better than league average. As a former first-round pick and former ace at Vanderbilt, the results aren't surprising, but they are pretty damn impressive for the 24-year-old. For as strong as his regular season was, teams have found a way to get to him so far in this postseason. In Game 3 of the NLDS, the Braves scored 5 runs off the righty over 5 innings of work. Then, in Game 3 of the NLCS, the Brewers scored 4 runs in 7 innings. Buehler did get the Game 7 start as well, and he was great. Additionally, even when he was allowing runs, the peripherals didn't really suggest he should have, as overall he has racked up 22 strikeouts with just 4 whacks over 16 and 2/3 innings. Where Buehler can get into trouble is with the long ball, despite the fact that he is nominally a ground ball pitcher. He's allowed 1 homer in each of his 3 postseason starts thus far, and he had 4 regular season outings in which he allowed multiple homers. Easier said than done to hit homers in Los Angeles, where Buehler will make his first start, but if the Red Sox can launch the ball against the young righty, they'll be okay. Buehler is a 5-pitch pitcher with a mid to high 90s fastball along with a sinker, a cutter, a curveball and a slider. Game 4, Rich Hill. We end with an old friend on the mound as the Dodgers' Game 4 starter, and with the third lefty out of 4 rotation spots. Hill, of course, totally reinvented himself in the Red Sox organization back in 2015 and showed it in the majors over a short 4-game stint, and he's used that to relaunch his career. He's probably only got a few years left, but he is still at least somewhat effective in 2018. Hill wasn't super consistent this year, showing off both sides of the spectrum and ending with a largely average season. Overall, he finished with a 3.66 ERA, a 3.93 FIP and a 3.92 DRA. Adjusted for park, he was only 5, 1 and 13% better than the league average pitcher according to those metrics. Getting back to the inconsistency for a second, Hill had 8 regular season starts in which he allowed at least 4 runs and he had 10 in which he allowed 1 or 0 runs. As the 4th starter in the Dodgers rotation, he has only made 1 start per series, but he has been good in both of them. Although Hill is not going to go deep at this point in his career, he went a combined 9 1/3 innings over those 2 starts. He can be effective. The Braves and Brewers combined to score just 3 runs in his starts, and Hill also threw a scoreless inning of relief in the NLCS. So, the lefty has a high ceiling and can very well shut down Red Sox hitters, particularly with his strikeout stuff. However, he also loses his control from time to time. Despite the good results, he walked 5 and 4 1/3 innings in the NLCS. Additionally, Hill had a very real home run problem in the regular season, allowing 1.4 homers per 9 innings despite throwing in a pitcher's park. However, he has yet to allow a long ball in the postseason, so a key to this Game 4 will be Boston reversing that recent trend. Hill is mostly a 2-pitch pitcher, leaning largely on a high 80s, low 90s fastball as well as his curveball.